Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today I have for you the Lazy Human build. And just a very quick explanation for everyone who's possibly new to my lazy series of builds. It doesn't mean that you are lazy and cannot be bothered to play the game. What this means is minimizing all unnecessary stuff like stash management, ammo farming, hoarding resources, and focusing more on the game. It's especially suited for people busy with real life, or if you prefer to enjoy your game in more casual way, without min-maxing. I personally like a lot of min-maxing stuff and hoarding and so on, but here, let's go. Lazy Human. First, special distribution before legendary perks and legendary perks. In case you are a new player, lazy build is not a new player build. I will link a new player build here on the screen if you are looking for one. So start from that. And this is more like end game, but without management. So strength, intelligence, endurance, and luck. That's our 20 special points. Then what rats? Again, lazy, so we don't want to manage radiation. We don't want to keep an eye all the time on the health bar if the level is right or it's not. Popping radaways. What rats does it for us? It's not yet maxed out. I need a little bit more points. When I will get it maxed out, so 6 rats removed per second, I will be able to go into the nuke zone without much protection at all, just occasional radaway. At this point, I will need to still spend a bit of radaways, pop some radex or radex diluted to go into the nuke zone. But I can already be in the nuke zone without power armor, without hazmat suit. It will be better when I finally max it out. Taking one for the team for extra damage. If you don't need extra damage, if you are adventuring and you need to pick a lot of locks, you can consider to go instead for Master Infiltrator, or just swap on occasion. That's what I usually do. I swap one of those for Master Infiltrator when I need to hack terminals, open stuff. Then I will swap. Now perks. Everything is different than normally, and that applies as well to weapons and armor. And different than normally, I mean completely different than my standard builds, as focus is not what on my standard builds. To be clear, this build can do absolutely everything still, so that's unchanged. Under strength, we need some damage, so easy target as soon as we cripple the target. Block us so we can survive, and then bandolier, arms keeper to carry more stuff, a little bit more stuff without going constantly to the stash to store or scrap. We need to have ability to carry something that we loot without managing it all the time. So bandolier and arms keeper is needed. Then perception. It's focused on damage mainly, so number cruncher, tormentor, tank killer, Dilsila. Dilsila because we do have a harpoon gun here, so Dilsila is a perfect deal for this particular weapon. Grenadier for some explosions, awareness to hit targets easier in VATS. Yes, we are utilizing VATS. That goes hand in hand with minimum management and relaxed approach to the game, so VATS is being utilized a lot. Endurance, and this is a crazy category, you may say. So many perks, all of them needed for this particular playstyle. Probably the most important one, endurance. Life giver to be more tanky. Ironclad to be more tanky. Iron stomach, yes, you guessed it, to be more tanky. The same about natural resistance, adamantium skeleton, rat resistant, and fireproof. Now what's not about being more tanky? So not about being more tanky. First Quencher helps us to use VATS more. Vaccinated, so we are not getting diseases. We don't need to manage any random diseases appearing. Rat resistant, so we can deal with radiation easier. It's not a must, to be honest, this one. If you want to switch it to something else, feel free. Feel free to customize this build to your needs. Rat Sponge, this is a key one. Amazing card. thanks to added recently this 20% rat reduction, that's bigger than appears, as that's a reduction, not just rat resistance. And then radiation restores hunger and thirst. Perfect synergy for us. You know what's happening with this card? We can actually pop toxic goo just to fill up water and food bar. So you can eat toxic goo with this card. And star genes to keep our mutations. Only strength in number under charisma. We don't need anything else here. Intelligence, first aid for stronger stim packs. Science for our energy weapon damage. White knight. Our armor cannot break constantly, so we need to reduce the breakage. And demolition expert, as we are using some explosive weapons for more fun. The perfect synergy here, so that's needed. Agility. Full on reverse onslaught. So that takes most of the agility. Unfortunately, reverse onslaught, that takes most of it. But we still have room for Born Survivor rank 2, so you don't need to manually pop any stim packs. That's important. Adrenaline to do even more damage on the kill streak, and there is room for Gunslinger rank 1 and only rank 1. If you wonder why Born Survivor rank 2, not rank 1, not rank 3, that's because at full health, with quite decent resistance, rank 2 is just perfectly enough. Rank 1 is a little bit risky, and we don't want random death. Rank 1, it can happen that you die before it triggers, so that's the safe spot, 30% health. For bloodied builds, you need max out Born Survival. For full health, you do not. Under luck, a little bit more damage from better criticals. One gun army, so we can cripple. We are using heavy guns. Some of those guns do not look like heavy guns, but they are heavy guns. 4-leaf clover for VATS criticals. Class freak to reduce the negative of mutations. Crit savvy, so we can crit every 3 shots. Junk shield for tankiness. And bloody mess for extra mob clearing, the horde clearing with harpoon gun. Quite a cool. Bloody mess is quite cool if you are running harpoon gun. If you don't like harpoon gun at all and you will refuse to run it, you can swap bloody mess for something else. Now mutations. This is pretty standard. Adrenal reaction, bird bones, eagle eyes, egghead, herbivore. Although herbivore carnivore doesn't matter, we are not using any food. Herd mentality, marsupial, scaly skin, and speed demon. So pretty standard mutations. Pretty standard mutations. We are not using any food. As you can see, no food effects running, no camps running. Can all be ignored, but we are still well fed and well hydrated, even though no food is being used. That's perfect. Now the gear. The fun part. The most important problem. Weapons. And I will show you them in action. Number 1. Tesla cannon. Amazing. High damage, especially for events when you need to cover wide area and you want to tag everything for your looting purposes. That's the one. That's the Tesla cannon. After that, plasma caster. Anyone here likes the plasma caster? Very high range, 400, very good VATS accuracy. That's our VATS sniper. High range weapon, VATS sniper. If you don't have 4 stars yet, don't worry, it's not really necessary. Some of my weapons do have 4-star, some do not. Then broadsider. The powerhouse for damage, yeah, surprisingly. This one, incredibly high damage. That's our DPS weapon on any enemy that can take explosive damage. Huge power, surprisingly huge power. Perfect for all the headhunts and ground hunts. Destroys stuff in no time. And all-time favorite, everyday use case, Icebreaker. Slows down enemies, can help in boss fights. Your teammates will thank you if you freeze Scourge Beast on the ground, so she cannot fly away. That's a Scourge Beast Queen fight. And your teammate will not appreciate it if you freeze the Scourge Beast Queen while flying, so make sure you freeze her on the ground. In case of crowd control, bloody mess explosions will wipe out the horde of enemies in one shot, which is awesome. This weapon is something different. Amazing weapon. Previous scoreboard weapon now available with gold bullion. Easy to get as you just craft it and you're ready to go. No legendary effects needed to be attached as it's already awesome. All of those weapons ammo positive. So you don't need to worry about ammo. You don't need to farm any ammo. When you are killing enemies, you are getting more ammo than you are using. Armor. As you don't want to worry about power armor. And fusion cores, we are not using power armor. We are using Secret Service armor. And we are already a super tank. Unusual legendary effects, not what I normally would use. First, Assassin. Why is that here? 2 explosive weapons in our inventory are very deadly versus ourselves. Assassin, combined with Dance on Torso, fixes that. If you don't plan to use any explosive weapons, you can consider a different prefix. But Assassin is as well very good everywhere in Ohio area. For the ground hands, head hands, those enemies there are humans. So that's perfect actually. In case of the raid, it helps a lot on stage 3. Those are humans too. Second star. Normally I don't use it as I would be spamming food. On my main builds I would be using coffee, I would be using company tea. So I don't need AP regeneration of the second star. But here, as I am not using any food, I'm dedicated to not do anything that's difficult, so I have power. 5 pieces of that, and my AP regenerates in matter of seconds when I'm outside of VATS. Last star, food, drink, and chem, weight reduction, so again, we don't need to manage it a lot. Even if you don't want to use food and chems, they still accumulate. Just because you continue to do events, you loot enemies that you kill, this stuff accumulates, so if you have carry weight reduction, you don't need to manage it very often. Remaining pieces, the same legendary effects, but ultra light build on them, so we do have even more action points, and armor is lighter, so takes less space in our inventory. Apparel, if you wonder about the backpack, Vault 33 backpack, that's a skin, but high capacity one, so I have extra carry weight. You can run something else if you want to. There is cool one that reduces weight of scrap. If you are hoarding a lot of scrap, you could consider that. If you have nothing but just regular backpack, 60 carry weight is already a huge help. Then under armor, I want to be tanky, so shielded Secret Service under armor for me. And then if you wonder about my outfit, Vault Girl, Raid Ahead, very cool one, and Vault Survivor outfit. Previous season outfit. I don't know if it's currently available to obtain in any way, but that's the gear. Now, the combat. Let's go after the Grand Hunt. And we'll open with Icebreaker, my favorite for this particular build. Icebreaker, amazing weapon. Look what it can do to this target. Absolutely no problem to eradicate it, and that's just our daily driver type of weapon. It's not the strongest one that we have in our arsenal, already doing great. Now the strongest one, if we pop our beautiful broadsider, what can that do? Look at that. Easy 2 shots and it's destroyed. Okay, somehow managed to break my leg. Don't know how that happened. Probably some extra limb damage on this particular raider weapon. And now we almost have full stack on the reverse onslaught, so now I can show you the damage with full stack. We don't need to target head, to be honest. With explosive, it doesn't matter what we target. 9k damage. That's the singular broadside shot. 9k damage. We can loot everything. Absolutely no problem. So this is a powerhouse. The broadsider. What about sniping around with our awesome plasma caster sniper? Yes, I know next patch will probably bring some changes, but for now, it's working great as a sniper. Later on, we'll figure out what will be the new sniper. But look at the damage. It's a sniper, amazing one. Now for a tough target like a Scourge Beast, let's switch back to our powerhouse. So this is a broadsider. Switching targeting to a torso. And look at that. That's the broadside in action. There you go. Scourge Beast destroyed with a broadside. And the cannon. This is absolute beast too. The only problem with the cannon, it does do damage to myself with quite a decent range. So I cannot prevent that fully, even with Assassin and Dance Torso. Will always do some damage to myself, but not crazy high. So it's all good, easy to manage. Covers a lot of screen, so I don't like to use it a lot. But on events, it is perfect. You can notice that around the fissure side, I'm not really suffering at all with radiation. Even at 6 rats, it's barely ticking. That's when I'm super close to the fissure. I move 2 steps away and it's going away already. And yeah, not even max out on my rat shield. I mean rat shield, the legendary what rats that is protecting me right now. And look at my food and water. Absolutely full, and I was eating nothing just because of radiation. Now in case of the nuke zone, there is a nuke zone nearby. Let me show you how bad or good it is around the nuke zone. It is manageable already, but I will need what rats max out for the best effect. At this moment it's manageable. I can go into the nuke zone. I'm taking 11 rats in the nuke zone. And who's attacking me there? I don't know where they are, so that's another good thing about this weapon. You don't really need to know where the enemy is. The numbers will pop up, and this weapon does shoot through obstacles with those explosions. So this is very handy. So that's the amount of radiation we are taking inside the nuke zone. You can reduce it. If I would put Radex, that unfortunately suppresses my mutations, so I don't want that. But I can help a little bit with Radex diluted, and that reduce my rat intake to 10. Still quite a bit, but as you can see, occasional rat away. And I can stay in the nuke zone. I can. It's possible. The only downside of rat away, it reduces the disease resistance. And if I use it, I will be for 14 minutes, it will be possible. Still a low chance of catching a disease, but possible that I will catch a disease, which is not great. And to eliminate this problem of using Radaway, I do plan to stockpile a little bit of Nuka grapes. Shouldn't be too hard. Collector at the camp can collect Nuka grapes slowly. So then I will only use Nuka grapes. And when I max out what rats, there will be most likely no need to ever really use Radaway at all. And now there's eviction notice ongoing. So that's a perfect scenario where I can use a Tesla cannon. So I could just shoot blindly, and look at that. There are enemies. I'm hitting them over there regardless if they behind obstacles or not. That's the main purpose for the Nuka cannon. Tesla cannon. Even though it is doing crazy high damage and I could use it for other purposes, the main purpose, just mainly because it covers so much screen, is events. And legendary in here, so I can kill them, why not? Oh, there's some of them hiding in there. I can get them. Legendary. So I will tag them over there. I will be able to get this loot. And that is about everything you need to know in regards to this build. I hope you will enjoy it. If you need a lazy type of build, it's great. I really like it. I will be honest, I did change the loadout for perks and other stuff and weapons several times designing this build. I was not happy with my previous iterations. This one is the one I'm happy with. So hopefully you will be happy with it too. A lot of fun. You can enjoy the game without the hassle of managing everything. And that being said, thank you for watching and see you all in the next one.